Dear friends, reading is something that most of us want to do. And at the beginning of each year, many people will say, I'm going to read 6 books this year, I'm going to read 10 books this year. But at the end of the year, we realize that many of us don't even read. But it's very, very important and educative to read. And if you are someone who wants to learn what happens around you, what happens in other countries, and get more knowledge, then you should be able to read books. Welcome back to my channel, Faith and Lifestyle. Today I want you to see the books that I read in 2025, and maybe that will inspire you to be able to read some of these books that I read. Okay, so I read mostly African novels, and so I want you to see the books that I read. I'll begin with The Lady with a Beard. This book, The Lady with a Beard, is written by a Cameroonian author. And The Lady with a Beard is a novel, and this novel actually talks about the story of an extraordinary woman, a woman that many people will call a male woman. You know, most often when you are someone who can do everything by yourself, they call you a man. So this book, The Lady with a Beard, is the story of a woman who has put aside this whole concept of male chauvinism and wants to prove that a woman can also stand on her own. The novel is set in a village in Kupe Maninguba, and it's a beautiful novel to read. So I will encourage you to read The Woman with a Beard. In fact, if you just listen to the title, The Woman with a Beard, you start asking yourself, what's a woman doing with a beard? So this is my first pick, and it's really, really good. If you read it, you're going to enjoy it. The next pick that I had is Stay With Me. Oh my God, this book is beautifully written. Stay With Me is written by Ayobami Adebayo. And Ayobami Adebayo is a Nigerian author. She is just good. This novel is a hit. I tell you, this novel, Stay With Me, recounts the story of a couple that got married and was unable to bear children. At the end, the woman was able to have children, but they kept dying. What is behind the death of these children? And what's the secret with Africans that makes the fact that an African couple cannot stay without having children? Because they have other traditional ways that a couple can have children. You must not, you mustn't go without a child in the African society. So this book, Stay With Me, is a hit. In fact, I loved this book. I wept when I read it. There were periods when I was so happy. There were periods when I would weep and I'll keep the book down, but come back to it after a few minutes when I recover. Stay With Me is a hit. Then I read The Smart Money Woman. Yes, The Smart Money Woman. Again, is written by a Nigerian, and she is a woman also. And I just love the fact that most writers today are women. So The Smart Money Woman tries to build our financial stability in life, especially for the middle income earners, the middle class people. You shouldn't live above your means. You shouldn't see what others are doing and you want to do same. You shouldn't spend more than what you earn. So the Smart Money Woman is just advising people on how to spend money but the characters are all women. The men who just come in as a result of the fact that every society has to have a balance. So The Smart Money Woman is worth reading in 2026. I read all these books in 2025 and I don't regret them. So if you want, you can try reading The Smart Money Woman in 2026. You won't regret it. If you have watched this far and you haven't subscribed, please do so. Just subscribe, like this video and subscribe so that, I will do more. My next pick is His Only Wife. Yes, His Only Wife is written by Peace Adzemedi, and she is a Ghanaian author. And this book, recounts it. In fact, His Only Wife is close to the lady who spoke, because the main characters are those who have decided that the men will not rule the world. They too want to prove that as women, they can do things for themselves. So in His Only Wife, we read the story of a young girl who happens to be a seamstress, trained as a seamstress, but she comes up very forcefully and she breaks the circle of men, and proves her worth. It talks about mothers and mothers-in-law, their influence in marriages, the influence of African mothers and mothers-in-law in marriages. So this is a good book, His Only Wife. You can pick it in 2026 and you'll not regret it. Then I have another hit, Oil on Water. When I read Helen Habila's novel, Oil on Water, I was mesmerized, The first thing you should ask yourself when you take the title is, what should oil be doing on water? Yes, Oil on Water is a must read. It is a must read. This novel is set in Nigeria, and it is in the Nigerian Delta states, where there is a lot of oil, but the villagers don't benefit from it. On the contrary, people, exploit this oil, extract it, and take it away, and the villagers remain and suffer the consequences of oil being in their area. That is just what it says, but when you go underneath, then you see the political undertone and also the economic aspects of Oil on Water. It is a beautiful book. When I picked up this book to read, I used 5 days to finish the book. And each time I dropped the book, I was just like, oh my God, I have to go out and do something. If I was reading this book, during vacation, I tell you, I will not drop it until I finish it. Oil on Water is a must read. You will not regret it. It's written by a Nigerian, Helen Habila. And my next pick is Across the Mongolo. Yes, Across the Mongolo is written by Cameroonian author John Nkemgong Nkengasong. And I'm so proud to say that Nkengasong taught me in the university when I was doing my PhD. He was one of my lecturers in African literature, and he was so good. Unfortunately, we lost Nkemgong last year. It was a big blow, but Nkengasong is a wonderful author, and his books are always so good. One of his other books that I've read is Achakasara. It's a small novel, but it is worth reading. Now, Across the Mongolo talks about the political situation in Cameroon, about the Anglophones and Francophones, and how they manage to stay in the marriage that has been formed between them. But then there are lots of problems that the Anglophones face in this marriage. So Nkenga Song wrote this novel, and everyone who reads the novel appreciates it. I'll tell you to read Across the Mongolo. If you are a Cameroonian and you're watching this, go to the comment section and leave a note to show that you're Cameroonian. And if you're also a Nigerian and you've read any of these books that I've talked about, don't forget to leave a comment. Then the next book that I read in 2025, of course, is the Holy Bible. Because if you don't read your Bible and pray to God, you will not have the strength to read any other books. So I am telling you today, stay glued to God, pray every day, read your Bible, and life will be easier for you. And if you're anyone who has read any of these books, leave a comment in the comment section. But if there are any other books that you read in 2025 and you want to propose it to me to read in 2026, I'll be glad, and you can leave it in the comment section. So these were my picks for 2025. I'm going to make another video to tell you what I plan to read in 2026. But until we meet next time on Faith and Lifestyle, I will just say, Mandeman back there, say.